I want to congratulate University of Florida on winning the game. It was a game filled like most opening games like this were with a ton of mistakes from both teams. And ultimately it came down to a couple red zone possessions, and they were able to capitalize. We were not able to capitalize, and ultimately that was the difference in the ball game. There were a couple of major blunders on special teams, and the short fields right there really ended up being telling in a very low-scoring game where everything mattered. I thought our guys played with a lot of courage. I thought they played with a lot of effort, but it doesn't matter because we lost the game. We did not come here to play with courage and effort. We came here to win the game, and it's not okay at the University of Miami ever to lose to the University of Florida, and everybody in that locker room feels the pain of that right now. Questions?
We have microphones on either side of the room. If you could hold them up real quick, we're going to raise your hand so we can get a transcription. We'll start over here on the left.
Your team was so close, so far away. What do you glean from this? And I know, obviously, Miami's not about moral victories, but what can you take from this as a positive going forward?
Well, we talked about all offseason about developing a backbone, being able to withstand a punch, which happened to us in the first half, with the long, catch and run by Tony. And then that happened in the second half when we fumbled the punt and they score on the short field. And a couple times where it's like, well, I don't know, maybe, the old, maybe it's not your night and you can just kind of let go of the rope. And I thought our guys looked those situations in the eye, fought through them, and ultimately gave ourselves a chance to win the game with 10 seconds left in the game, throwing the ball in their end zone. But like I said, that just gets you, that's what a big-time program should do. I mean, you don't pat yourself on the back for not quitting, but it is something, and that was a big point of our offseason.
Up here in the front.
Manny, Jaron Williams' first start, I got to believe that, you're pretty pleased with how he handled himself and hung in there?
Yeah, I mean, you probably can't put a guy in a more adverse situation than in this stadium. The amazing atmosphere from both sets of fans. Their defensive front, which we knew was really good, and Jaron never blinked. A lot of times didn't have a lot of time, and I thought he displayed a lot of courage. Made some plays with his feet. Made some, scramble to throw. To keep some things alive, and I think you can see why we picked him to be our guy.
Over on the far right.
Coach, I know the loss is top of your mind right now, but as a whole on the week and coming here to Orlando, how do you think the city did as a host for the opening weekend of college football?
It was a big-time event. Our players felt like it was a big-time event. The atmosphere inside the stadium. I mean, this is why you come to the University of Miami, and I'm sure the University of Florida as well, is to play in these type of games. And again, I thought it was a great showcase for our entire state. And like I said, everyone talks about fan bases. I will say the Miami fan base brought it tonight. It was awesome to see our people there and as noisy as they were.
Over here in the middle.
Coach, Melissa Thomas with Florida National News. Based on your perspective, what players did you feel were the biggest threat out there on UF's side?
What players? Well, I mean, obviously they've got a lot of talented guys, but it was evident early on that Tony was a guy that I thought we tackled so poorly. That'll be one of the real takeaways from this game. I thought our tackling was not the way that Miami Hurricanes tackle, and that will be addressed during the bye week we have. But if you don't tackle a guy like him, he's got a chance to punish you, which would but to give away a play like that, you're not going to win a big time game just handing him someone a free touchdown.
Up front on the right.
Coach, what happened on the 65-yard completion that set up the game-winning touchdown? Because you had a linebacker covering the receiver there.
That's not a linebacker. No, that's a striker. So that's what that is. That's part of the matchup.
Is that the matchup you really wanted on a guy like him?
Yeah, it was there all night. The same thing. Now there's also a safety that's supposed to be involved. So, but that's we led the nation in pass defense last year, doing the same thing. So we have an idea what we're doing.
Coach, in the middle.
Back in the middle.
Mike Griffith with the FWA freshman focus is getting back to Jaron a little bit. The growth that he can make from a game like this. You mentioned this is why you picked him to be a starter. Can't imagine he'd had any type of preparation for an environment like this, though.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. I mean, everybody on the offense, everybody on both sides of the ball has got a lot of room for growth. The key is we just can't stop. If anything, now we've got to kick on and be more motivated to improve, because we can say, well, we played pretty good, and then all of a sudden we'll relax and we'll end up in this exact same position in 2 weeks' time. So, if anything, I think we know that our guys found out that we can play. we can go toe-to-toe with a top 10 opponent. And but now that should kind of hurt us a little bit to really get in there and study the game and find a way to get better.
We're so glad you're watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, make sure you subscribe to ESPN Plus. We'll see you there.